So hi again, this is Ujjwal and I'm again back with another video about how to do this UPSC preparation based on my experience of giving this exam multiple times and even qualifying like the phases. Now, the main question in front of us today is that we are targeting 2026 attempt. So we'll be strictly talking about that particular year. And if you want to prepare for UPSC even after that, for let's say 2027, 2028, so basic these things will definitely help you for those years attempt as well. So there are, as you can see, there are three main questions in front of us. If you can, I hope you have already read them. So I want to just mention that where we are today. Let's check it up once that where we are standing today and where we want to reach, so that we can qualify, not only qualify, get into a good service next year in the holy PDF which we call the UPSC PDF, which comes in the months of April. Every next year we give the exam. So in 2027, we suppose that we would be in the list. So where we are, let's check that, and after that we'll be seeing in this video what's next, what should be our way forward from here, so that we can basically the plan, what's the plan ahead, how we should approach and how we should go ahead, which will work this time for us. And the last thing with which we will end this video would be that exactly what are some checklist or checkpoints which we have to keep in this mind, keep in our mind throughout the preparation journey, so that we not miss anything this time. So let's start the video. So yeah, so today we are like as I am recording this on 4th of July, today is also 4th of July. So basically on 4th of July, what we know, what where we are. So basically I think we have basic idea about the exam, right? We know that okay, prelims means interview is there, and prelims what kind of questions are required, or basically you have understanding of PYQs. I'm supposing. If not, then you should first start with analyzing PYQs for both, for prelims as well as mains. Then only you will get an idea that exactly what UPSC requires. Secondly, uh, about idea, I want you to know the guidelines. Basically, the guidelines which UPSC gives is the things which actually all the coaching basically centers explains you throughout their courses. So whatever you are required to showcase in the examination is everything is given there in a very like keyword format. So you can pick those words, understand them, and get a hang of the exam. That exactly what this exam is about. Now, next is about the sources, because mostly it's not about that people are not doing hard work. You can very easily say 25 to like 40K people uh, who are preparing for this exam among 10 lakhs or the rest of the aspirants, I would say, uh, are not that serious. Only 25 to 40K are actually very serious, preparing very like well. But in these 25 or 40K, you know only that only 1K would be selected in the final list, and only like top 70 in general category would be the IAS. You will be getting the IAS post. I mean, so why the sources are same, what is the issue? It's the issue is that they are not clear about the sources. When I say clear, it means that what to study and what not to study. So these things will be only clear when you will have a clear cut idea about the sources. You will have one standard book for each subject and 11 12 NCRTs for each subject. If you have NCRTs with you as well as standard book um, for each subject. Other than that, you don't need anything else. There is one thing which actually create a lot of FOMO in minds of students, is that how they value add. So this value add is very haunting thing for us. But for that only we pick a lot of books or we do a lot of coachings or pick here and there materials, but it is actually not required. For value addition, there are two things which are actually free of cost and which will actually get you selected. Which will be one, PYQs, prelims plus mains, and another would be toppers copy. So the toppers copy have the, I would say it is the most important value addition and the most crucial thing in the mains preparation, if we say, because whatever data, whatever facts you want to include, they would be already used by the toppers. purpose. You can directly pick the data, keywords, quotes, everything from these copies, and they are actually freely available by on the portal of all the coaching uh, centers. So you can actually pick them, download them, and mark them, read them. If you do that diligently, if you read like hundreds of copies, you will definitely have a very good understanding of the exam, as well as you will have a very good value addition data, as well as from what they are quoting. For example, which commission, which basically body they are quoting, because toppers copies are just a reflection of what UPSC is accepting in the examination. So we should definitely use this source very wisely, and then our source list would be very clear. So we should have a clear-cut list for each subject, whatever book you want to pick one only, I want to say. And then a value add based on PYQ analysis and also toppers copies analysis and the things available there. The last thing would be uh, that I hope that we are aware about our mistakes in the past year of preparation and attempts. If we are not aware, then this the second the year we are going to appear, which is 2026, we will make the same mistakes again. So it won't make any difference if we have not done our thorough analysis of our mistakes. One could be that we might have chosen a lot of sources for those part of the exam which will not actually give reward us that well. So that's why we might have scored less in the mains, due to which we could not go to the interview or get into the finalist as per the individual case. So for each individual, this thing will vary. So for that, there is a key thing which you can do. You can just pick a 1 year paper for prelims also, for mains also. Pick any 1 years of paper from last 10 years and just see the questions. For prelims, try to solve them. For mains, try to write answers for any of the questions. Whatever premium knowledge you have, whatever knowledge you have, try to write. Even if you write half page, just write. If you are going to prepare for this exam, you have to write 100 pages constantly for 2 days, and then you will have 5 day gap. Then again, you have to write 100 pages in a day for two consecutive days. So it's a very tough task. It's not an easy task. So we all will be doing that. But before that, just to see that where we are today on 4th of July 2025, just see the PYQ questions. Just try to solve them and see that exactly how much or which area you are actually even aware about, and which area you are having total blank. You don't have any information in your mind. So this way you will have an idea that okay, exactly which areas I have to prioritize, which area I have to leave, area I have to even more prioritize, or which through which sources we I have to. Basically, mapping will be done only well when you are very clear about the sources and very clear about your mistakes which you have done in the past. For example, it could be that you have not given test, and even you have given test, you have not revised well, or you have not analyzed your mistakes through the test as well. So these things, if you're aware, then you can, once you go along, you can focus on these things and then get selected next year. Let's move ahead now, that how to prepare now. Where we are is clear, I think now, and how, if we are not clear, then how to get clear, I think it's also clear. Now I would like to move on the next thing which I want to speak on in this video, which is how to go forward. What should be our strategy from here? So it's very like I want to keep. I always like to keep things very simple. So I would suggest that let's do a thing that divide the whole preparation in 3 phases. All right. One phase would be, as you can see, from July till December. So this will be one phase in which what you have to do, you have to cover your standard sources, all standard book, and when I say all, for all GS papers, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, and if you uh, do the standard books, I suppose 11th, 12th NCRTs as well should be done. And once these two things are done, what you have to do is you also have to keep doing the current affairs from any one newspaper, the Hindu or Indian Express. Standard books and current affairs are done. So we, and one more important more thing is there is optional. We can't leave optional. We can't, if we have to give attempt next year, we can't think like that. Okay, let's first finish GS, then we'll go to optional, because we don't have any time to finish the optional if we'll start after finishing GS. So we have to do things parallelly. So what should be our ideal day look like? It should be like, once you do GS, you should do current affairs and a bit of answer writing, and then what you should do is you should do have a slot for optional. And once it all things are done, what you should do is you should do the revision thing. So this way your whole day will be occupied, and also you will have a standard routine and you will not leave anything, GS as well as optional. And revision will be also there, current affairs and answer writing would be also there. You can allocate time, but I will suggest allocate 40% of your daily time if you are, let's say, uh, studying for 10 hours, allocate 4 hours to optional and respectively to all the other things. So this way your day should look like, and in this phase manner, if you prepare, there are other two phases as well, which I will showcase how what I think would be the very good way to prepare for this exam. Yeah, so you should focus on your GS, current affairs, answer writing, and optional and revision on the daily basis during those whole 6 months. Basically, you have 180 days left, and each day you have to follow these four things: doing current affairs, answer writing on daily basis, 1 hour each, GS slot, optional slot, and a revision slot of 1 hour, definitely. And this we have to do for 6 months rigorously, and then definitely we'll be able to cover our standard books, our current affairs, and our optional books, as well as if you have any lectures or anything. So basically, all the reading things and optional, all things should be clear and crystal clear before you are starting the preparation. Otherwise, if you are not, then you will be adding or picking other materials in between, which will definitely you will be not able to cover in this 180 days because it's a very limited time. I'm supposing that you are studying minimum 10 hours a day for 180 days, then you will be able to do this whole standard books and stuff. If you are planning to get enrolled in any foundation course or do the foundational lectures, it will take 10 months of your time easily. So with reading and doing the lectures thing could be possible, but definitely 4 5 hours you have to give over this 10 hours of study. Then you will be able to cover these things, the standard books, the uh, current affairs as well, the NCRT books and optional reading. So all reading plus all the lectures can't be done simultaneously in the 6 months. If you are planning for 2026, you should definitely be very selective in terms of lectures and just do the lectures for the most necessary and most important part. For example, GS4, optional, essay, like that. And for GS1 to 3, I would highly prefer that you should read from the books and cover things from the books. Otherwise, if you have time, let's say you are going to appear in the coming years, let's say in 2027 to 28, you have enough time. You can definitely first finish your foundation course, first finish your lectures. Then think about pick the 6 month slot once you are done with the lectures. And then in this 6 months, you should be thorough with your standard books, NCRTs, as well as uh, your optional readings. So once this is done, I suppose that you have once uh, done the reading of all the sources. Secondly, you have solved PYQs of minimum of last 5 years, both for optional as well as GS papers. So this is strictly for mains because in 6 months we would be focusing more on the mains. So we would be more dedicating our time to our mains preparation in the 6 months because definitely in the next phase we have specifically dedicated time for prelims preparation. So most of the things for prelims would be also covered because the syllabus is same. Things are not different for prelims and mains. The kind of questions and the kind of understanding which is checked is a bit different in both the exams, prelims and mains. So what we have to do is we have to solve PYQs as well. We have to also minimum of 3 4 years of copies of like high scorers on that particular paper, or let's say one to toppers of that particular year. We have to cover the copies. So we also have to 3 4 years of copies we have to see so that it would be our validation for the mains. So PYQ would be checking that okay exactly what UPSC is demanding and we are on the right path or not in terms of preparation. And readings is definitely must of standard books because it's a competition, and in competition if someone is doing something and if they are aware about that particular concept through that particular book, so we have to have a set where we are also in the part of the game, so we have to cover those things also. Now let's move to the phase uh, two, and I hope that phase one is clear that what we should have in ourselves. Just one thing I think I missed, which is notes. So till December, we should have a revision notes ready. Otherwise, if you are studying and if you don't have a revision note, then that doesn't make sense that what exactly we are studying, because we can't remember something which we studied 6 months earlier. Once we want to recall that, there would be things which we will be not able to recall. So to revise that, we need to have notes. So notes should not be the copy paste of books. As you know, it should, what it should look like is, once you have done 2 3 readings, most of the things would be in your mind: the story, the themes, the concepts. But the facts, the important things like articles, or let's say the case judgments, or let's say any particular case studies, these things should be in our note, topic wise, so that once you have to write about any particular topic, you have some basic idea what is the issues, what are the things of this particular topic. But when it comes of data, which will actually enhance your answers, which will actually substantiate your answers, that things we have to keep in our notes so that we can recall and just get them embedded in our mind. So revision notes should be there. So once till December, these 4 things should be done, and then you would be in a very good position in terms of competition. So now let's move to the phase 2. It would be strictly for prelims. So in prelims phase, what we would be doing, that we would be picking the PYQs of the prelims first. Once you pick PYQs, you have to try to solve them. If you, let's say, you solve PYQs uh, for polity, and there would be few topics which you can recall very well. There would be few topics which you can't recall very well. There are few topics which you are not aware about. So in these 3 categories you have to study. Which topics which you are very well like aware, which you are able to solve, you have to just, what you have to do is, you have to just give very little time to them, just revise them, because they are already very clear in your mind. The things which are not at all, you are not able to recall, you have to dedicate time to revise them a lot, because these things which will be causing mistakes in your exam, which will actually stop you from clearing the prelims. And the last thing, which you are not at all aware. Now, it is a critical part. It is a tricky part. You have to see that, okay, these kind of questions are actually, we anyone is able to prepare or not. Are there are they just for the surprise element in the exam, or it is just something which you have actually missed in your 6 month preparation? So if it is something which is you have missed, what you have to do is, you have ChatGPT, you have Google, just search it and try to prepare it instead of picking any bulky 500 one or 300, 400, 500 pages material for specifically for prelims. So that's why I earlier mentioned that PYQ is best material for value addition for prelims as well as mains. And for mains toppers, copy are the best value addition material, including the PYQs. So that's why you should first try to do this from internet. And if it is something which you have to pick a book, then pick a book which already there are some recommendations for, let's say, for art and culture. There are books like Nitin Singhania, but we don't try to read it cover by cover. Specific sections we read. If you are not able to do well in a particular section, then you can read those particular section as well, which you have left earlier. So this way you should be very selective in the prelims phase, and pick those particular data things which are asked, and which will be asked. And also in PYQ, there are 4 options given. So these 4 options are in themselves topics. So these 4 options you should be also aware. You should be aware. So if you have a solved PYQ book, in that book, if something about the solutions are also given, you should also keep those things in mind and pick some points if you feel important in your prelims notes. So this way you will have your preparation started in the second phase. Once the PYQs, along with PYQs, you don't have to wait for anything. Once along with PYQs, from January onwards, you have to start the mocks, either weekly or 2 times in a week. So these mocks will be of like 100 questions and 2 hours straight. So these things which we have to give very much emphasis on the mocks. We have to solve around 100 mocks. It's not about numbers only, it's about the quality, the kind of revision you are doing, the kind of what analysis you are doing of the mocks. You are identifying that which area you are weak or strong, and based on that, you are allocating your time for the revision. The smart thing we have to do in this phase, and mocks are very important. You will get some idea that exactly, basically, these 100 mocks are not only mocks, these are the playing ground where you are actually going to cause mistakes. So, for example, we have only 6 attempts in UPSC. But if we always learn from our mistakes only in the prelims exam itself, then we would be in a very bad position to qualify this exam even in 6 attempts. So these 100 marks are nothing like it's nothing less than attempt only. These marks will be a UPSC prelims attempt only. So basically, you would be failing 100 attempts, and then you would be targeting one attempt in which you have to qualify, which would be 2026 CS exam on 24th of May. So this would be our target mocks, and our um third would be our notes. Basically, these notes would be nothing but whatever mocks we are giving, whatever PYQs we are solving, and in our mains notes itself, there would be some data which we would be highlighting, some specific things which are important for prelims. We would be try to gather them in one page. So this would be one pager notes for prelims, which will have specific things based on the important topics and themes of the prelims, and so that we can revise them in the month of April and May multiple times. So 4 or 5 times of revision are the key to qualify the prelims, and recalling is the key. So we have to try to revise and recall a lot through mocks and through our notes. So this will be the thing about the prelims phase. And what we have to do is uh, next after the prelims, what we have to do is we have to prepare for mains. So here actually we won't be preparing. Here we would be revising and practicing. As you know already in this 180 days, we have done our readings, PYQs, and our topper notes and our what revision notes are ready. So what we have to do is we have to filter out those things first from our notes which we won't be using in our exam. If something is there, so we have to just filter out and make our crisp notes before like 1 week of the exam. So before 1 week of 21, 22 of August, we should have our notes, which will we can revise, like we can revise the whole syllabus in one day. Like that, we have to have crisp notes. So for that, we have to focus a lot on the revision so that once we do the revision only we will know that okay which part we don't know to look again and again, so our notes will automatically get filtered. So notes revision. Third would be left topics. There would be certain topics which we won't be able to cover from mains point of view in 180 days, so we have to also give some time to those topics in this phase 3, which will be from June to August. And in the fourth thing would be the mocks. We have to give 3 hours complete test so that we can get an idea that how it feels to definitely write exactly in this exam. I'm not saying that in 180 days you won't be giving. You should try to give one test in a week, every Sunday, Saturday, so that you have a hang of it, that exactly how it feels to write for 3 hours. But definitely in these 260, 70 days, we have to give every second or third day a test and then analyze it and then again repeat the thing. So this way, instead of writing answers to like 4 or 5 answers, we should give test of 20 answers like in 2 3 days. It would be better. After that, PYQs we have already solved of 5 years earlier in 180 days. So we have to revise them and we have to again try to solve if other 5 years of questions we can solve in this 2 3 months, it would be great. So this should be the case. The more number of tests, the more number of answer writing, the more number of PYQ solving we do in this mains phase, the better we will be doing in the mains exam. So these are the 3 phases through which we will be actually qualifying this exam. And this is what I wanted to suggest also that what we should do. Then now let's come to the last part of this video, which is a checklist which we should have before starting our preparation and going ahead. So basically, there are very limited things which I have gained through my UPSC journey, and which I would like to suggest here as well. That if you do these things, there is no doubt that you are going to be in top 100. There is no doubt that you might be an ICE officer in your first attempt. But the problem is that whatever things I'm going to say, they sound very simple, but they're very tough to do actually in the reality. So that is the trick. If those people, actually, this is the thing which I have also realized from our mistakes that okay, this thing I should have done, but I have not done. If I would be preparing or if I would be suggesting my younger brother for the preparation, I would be giving these tips that okay, you should do only these particular things, and you will be actually in the list. So one would be the syllabus. The syllabus is very clearly mentioned for the mains exam. in our notification. You should be very thorough about it. It will not only help you in preparing the topics, it will also help you in preparing the important current topics. So the topics which you have to prepare, actually for this exam, you don't have to prepare books. You don't have to prepare coaching notes or everything. You have to prepare topics. Which topics? Given in the syllabus. Now, any topic there are in, if you know, in PhDs, like on topics PhDs are done. The subtopics on which PhDs are done, they take 5 years. So how depth you want to go on any particular topic is very important to know before going ahead. So the best thing would be PYQ. For prelims, for mains, how deep you have to study, how well you have to study, what kind of understanding you need to have would be like known to you through PYQs only. So there is no like it is a bit actually a no-brainer. You have to go to PYQs for any exam. You have to see that exactly how questions are asked. So second thing is PYQ. Third would be topper's copy. The topper's copy actually, as I already mentioned, have the all the nuggets which you would require to become a topper, and will also have a it also act as a mirror. Like for example, if for any question, if you write answer, and if you see that exactly for that question how a topper has written the answer, you will understand that okay, what level of preparation he or she has when they top the exam, and what preparation level you have after completing that particular subject. So where you are missing, where you are lagging, it will be very much clear. So topper copies are the thing. The fourth thing would be mock tests. As many as mock tests you can do for prelims and mains, you should do it. If you are able to do 100, if you are able to do 70, doesn't matter. There is no any magic number in terms of mocks, but it should be the maximum in terms of your time limits, in terms of your available times. Whatever you can do, the best you should do. It will reward you. It will decide actually your selection as well as your rank. The fifth thing would be revision. Because this exam is a game of recalling and writing. So if you won't be able to recall very quickly because you have to write answer in a 7 minute in the mains and you have to solve a question in 1 or 2 minutes in prelims. So if you're not able to recall um, quickly, you will not be able to actually qualify this exam in multiple attempts. So you should focus on as many as revisions you can do before prelims and mains. You should do it. Now, if you want any number, minimum 5 times would be there for prelims, for mains as well. So once you have written mains, you should be 10 times revise the whole syllabus of UPSC, and it can be only done through a well curated and well drafted notes as per the syllabus for this exam. So if note you have notes, one note should be for your understanding and records, which you when you are studying any concepts, whatever you understood about that concept, any important keywords, any particular things you learned, you should note that. You should have noted noted down in your notes copy, but it would be bulkier. So if it is for 500 pages, before the exam, you can't revise such bulky notes for each paper. So you should have around like what 1 pager notes for each topic. Let's say if there are 300 topics for all GS4 papers, all GS papers like 1, 2, 3, 4 combined, there are around 300 topics if you count. So there should be 300 pages notes for one topic, 1 page note. So these are called one-pager notes. How they will help? They will help you revise the whole syllabus in one day before prelims, before it means exam also in the last week, which is very important because you want to have everything in your mind which you have studied in the last 1.5 year. So this way you would be actually utilizing the whole preparation which you have done through the notes, through the revision. And the last thing, last thing would be just a clear-cut sources. And sources, as I have already mentioned, 11th, 12th NCRT for each subject, and standard books for each subject. One, any one book, any one book, any standard book recommended by the toppers. So if you follow these 7 things uh, for next what say 13, 14 months, your 30 to 35 years of life will be secured. But the main challenge is to do these seven things with consistency, study for 10 hours for like so many months. It's a very tough task. And definitely there would be FOMO created that, okay, if I'm missing something, what is happening like that? How can this such a big exam would be such a easy thing to, such a simple way to crack it? Actually, it is very simple to crack this exam, but we are not able to crack it because we are trying to make it very complicated, or let's say industry around this exam is trying to make things very complicated and sound them complicated so that we actually get help from them because they want to simplify it for us. But actually, this is the main thing which we have to do to qualify this exam. And if anyone has done it, definitely you will qualify this exam. And I think everyone who is preparing well or have some understanding of this exam will come to a conclusion one day that, okay, this is a seven principles, seven things which we have to actually do to qualify the exam, or actually we need for this exam. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching. If you have watched till this end, then I think it might help you. So thank you for watching. We'll try to bring some more videos on these topics, how to prepare and in particular segments. So yeah, thanks again.